Hey everyone, Mr. Happy here and welcome to my guide to the level 81 dungeon, the Tower of Zot. We'll be covering the 3 bosses and some light commentary on the trash pulls if necessary. To skip to a specific boss, please use the timestamps in the description of the video. For trash, the entire dungeon is made up of mostly familiar Garlean enemies. If you're doing wall-to-wall pulls, the third pull before the second boss, and both of the big pulls before the final boss can be especially dangerous. Gauge your team's experience before going big here. With that in mind, let's just cover the dungeon bosses. The first boss is Mindaruva. Right off the bat, Mindy chains a ton of spellcasts together back to back to quickly educate you on her mechanics, as will we. Manujya Bio is a tank buster that also inflicts an assumable poison, nothing fancy here. Just note this marker is being more universally used to indicate tank busters from now on, so whenever you see it, pop a cooldown of some sort. Manujya Blizzard 3 fires several conal AoEs from Mindy's location to avoid, so watch for those. Manujya Fire 3 is a donut AoE, so get close to her for this. Manujya Thunder 3 is a cross pattern of circle AoEs that fire off one at a time, just stand between them to avoid it. Finally, Manujya Bio 3 is a 180 degree AoE in front of Mindy, so get behind her. Now that you've seen those, Mindy will just begin transmuting these spells and sending them off to a marked location on the arena. At this point, it's a memory and movement game. Watch which one she transmutes while watching which one of her attacks she uses herself. She'll always use a spell in addition to whatever she transmutes, such as using a Bio 3 before a transmuted Fire 3 goes off. There's nothing more to it than just keeping an eye on which spells are going where. Between each set of transmutes, Mindy will also use Drupad. This fires attacks at each of the non-tank party members and also places a dot on them. It's nothing too dangerous, just don't ignore your teammates' health, especially if they took a vuln from any of Mindy's spells. If you block all the damage outright, it won't even leave a dot, so sometimes shields can cover that themselves. She'll just keep repeating this over and over again until Mindy is defeated. The second boss is Sandaruva. She has 3 main mechanics on top of a couple basic attacks. Ishidfa Siddhi is a simple tank buster, and she fires line AoEs called Prapti Siddhis at random party members. Her first mechanic is Manujya Berserk. This summons 5 orbs around the arena that, after she casts Explosive Force, will explode and berserk any players they hit. This will cause them to uncontrollably auto-attack Sandy until the duration wears off. This ensures that they are hit by her follow-up AoE, Prakamya Siddhi. Fortunately, one side of the room has no orb, so just all run way to the wall and hug it tight to avoid a berserk orb explosion. Even if you're hit by it, the point-blank AoE doesn't do that much. After this, Sandy will jump to the center and use Manujya's Stop. This 1x1 causes players to stop all actions as she aims a Prapti Siddhi at them. Just as everyone stand away from each other here, and you'll all get hit by one single Prapti Siddhi. You only want to avoid aiming one at somebody who's frozen when they can't avoid it, and even then it wouldn't be that lethal. Her final mechanic is Manujya Confuse. Sandy will briefly leave the arena before 6 illusions of her reappear. Oh, and your allies will look like her too, but that's just for flavor. 5 of these illusions will begin using emotes, indicating that they are all fakes. The real Sandy is the one not doing anything. After a brief moment, Sandy will cast Explosive Force, and all of the fakes will become berserk orbs that explode similarly to before. Just get all the way to the wall by the real Sandy to avoid all of their explosions. After this, the fight's just on repeat until you win. The final boss of the dungeon is the Magus Sisters. This encounter begins against just Sandaruva, the final sister, who will cast Samsara to do room-wide damage. Once she has done that, Sandy and Mindy will return to perform Delta Attack, their main mechanic. Each Delta Attack just combines a ton of magic attacks into AoEs that the party needs to avoid. There are 3 patterns, and the order they appear in will be random each time you actually do this fight. The first type of Delta Attack is a Thunder Delta. This will summon line AoEs and a ton of those Manujya Thunder 3 AoEs from Mindy's fight. It's just a dodge fest really, but try to stay close to each other when you're dodging. Near the end of this will be a stack marker, so share the damage with the team. The second type of Delta Attack will be the Blizzard Delta. This will shoot conal AoEs from all of the sisters in a gradual fashion, while line AoEs just fire across the room laterally. While you're dodging, there will be 2 proximity AoEs, first one to the north side of the room and the second one to the south. Just need to make a bit of distance away from them and avoid all the Blizzard AoEs at the same time. The final type of Delta Attack is Delta Fire. This will also fire line AoEs, though a bit wider than before, and place a few donut AoEs for the party to stand in. After the second donut AoE goes off will be a spread marker on each player, so just dodge away after the second donut AoE goes away. Between each Delta attack, Mindy and Sandy will also attack the party. Sandy will use her Tank Buster and Mindy will use Drupad from their respective fights, while Cindy just uses Samsara. There will also be some Propti Siddhis to avoid, but again, this is all stuff you've dealt with before. Now, to defeat the sisters, be sure to attack Cindy first. If Mindy or Sandy are defeated before Cindy, she will resurrect them over and over again. Once Cindy dies, Sandy and Mindy will continue to use their Tank Buster and Drupad attacks, and they'll go down very quickly. They'll even resort to using some other attacks as well, Minutia Berserk, Minutia Bio, and various other skills that they use during their respective encounters. Just finish them off and you're all done. And that's going to be a wrap for my guide to the Tower of Zot dungeon. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe, and share, and check out all the other Final Fantasy XIV videos on my channel. I'll see you in the next one, and until then, take care.